Welcome back to Good Karma Wrestling along with Brian Rowitz. I'm Jonathan Hood here for ESPN Milwaukee. Fiserv Forum, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tickets available for the big show, SmackDown. Go to Ticketmaster or WWE.com. And Brian, we have a friend of the program returning to Good Karma Wrestling.
The champ is here.
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion, joins us here on Good Karma Wrestling. Cody, welcome back. Jonathan and Brian, thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It's nice to be referred to as a friend of the show.
Yeah.
You know, that means we did all right the last time. You know, that's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wasn't WWE champion last time, though, huh?
That's right. Now you're the champ. Now you're a bigger deal.
Yes.
Whole new me, guys. Whole new me. I'm a total jerk. Total jerk. Everything changes. Just rotten. So good luck.
Yeah, that's not true. How's life for you right now? Right now at this moment?
Oh, I mean, really, truthfully, and I've said this a lot when the cameras go off and we have our moments with the crowds at the end of the night. It's really the honor of my life doing this and to be able to be the quarterback of WWE throughout its just ridiculously most prolific run is not a chapter of my career that I knew I was even going to get. I think from the outside looking in, you almost can look at it and go, that was always the plan. But truthfully, the fact that the North Star to our game sits right here and that I was a Crockett kid, a WCW kid, and I now am able to take this everywhere and represent the company, it's special. If I had any complaints, I would kick myself for having them just because this is what you always wanted, right? It's right there. Take it.
Well, what's that pressure like? Because you refer to yourself as QB1, but most QB1s get an off season. You don't have that. You've been going full go since Mania. What's that pressure like?
You ever see where the presidents get really old? You know what I'm saying? Like Obama looked like 29, and then all of a sudden he was 45 in the first 2 years in office or whatever it may be. I will say that's the amount of pressure. And again, I had a lifetime to prepare for it, and it's like it was all new. Like, oh yeah. So I think my favorite part of it is now I have like we're talking presidential, but I have like a cabinet of people who help me with everything now, and that is just, I'm really blessed. I was telling WWE President Nick Khan that the other day. I am so blessed. Someone to help me with social, someone to write my calendar out, someone to do, just that we can have these conversations every Friday Night SmackDown about where the WWE champ needs to be, what we need to do next, what shows we're going to, and they've really kind of molded that into how I would do it. So it's an incredible amount of pressure. My gosh, again, I hope I don't age to the degree that you see those dudes age, but it's pressure I wanted.
SmackDown comes to Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee on November 15th. We're talking to Cody Rhodes here on Good Karma Wrestling. Cody, is there anything in wrestling that comes close to the stories that you've been involved in since being in WWE? You're a wrestling fan, so I know that you know them all.
I think my story, gosh, you see a lot of, I don't know, let's say like rehashes, you know, are tributes, and sometimes you can take something that was done, what's old can be new again, and you can do it all over. But for me, I feel like my story is incredibly unique because it's rooted in full reality and it exists prior to me. It's a very long form tale going from 1977 and 1978 with Dusty and Superstar and the WWF Championship. It's a very long tale that is incredibly real in a world where we suspend disbelief. If anything, it just feels almost like Game of Thrones in wrestling, truthfully, in terms of gosh, the little bite at the top of my song, wrestling as more than one royal family. I don't think it was ever intended to be as real as it is. And I mean that in the positive for me, but also in the crosshair that I have on my back from, if you take a look at like the Bloodline, or if you take a look at any of these families, now I'm not QB number one, I'm enemy number one, and it feels very much like that's become as real as it ever could be. But yeah, I can't think of anything that compares. Can you guys?
No, because it's what you said. It's rooted in reality. Talking about your dad, and then being the champion, and then what's going on with Roman. That's all, and The Rock. It's all there. So we think it's the most real thing that we see in wrestling, which we as fans love.
Oh, it's at its best when there's that element of. My buddy Stephen Amell told me this the other day. That element of authenticity, right? And I'll know the moment I'm disingenuous. And there's been plenty of times I've said something that was off the path for me, and now like that's the number one thing. Staying on brand for me is staying authentic.
Talking about finishing that story, who in that locker room or coming up through that locker room do you see as being that next person that you would love to see get that moment? We saw Jey Uso on Monday get his first individual title. Who are some of those guys you look and say, hey, that's going to be an awesome finishing of the story also?
Oh gosh, I'm very impressed with Braun, and again, shout out to Jay for what he did. That story with Jay, that's just a chapter in his story. I see him continuing upwards. But I look at somebody, and again, not my favorite person, and don't really know him well, and what I know of him, he's not the nicest dude. But I look at somebody like a Dom Mysterio, and there you have this guy was involved in a match for his own custody as a child, and now is this wonderfully, he's a great contributor to WWE in terms of whether they're booing him out of the building or not. We like that. That's an awesome thing to see. And him and Liv have had an incredible story. Dom is somebody that if I'm looking at a story I want to watch and I know, hey, I can tune into WWE in 15 years, I expect to see him in a completely different light. Nothing like what we have now. A completely different light and a full evolution of his character.
Like we said, the only heel to turn heel.
Hey, you got to be pretty good to do that.
Cody, I don't like to borrow questions from other podcasts or shows, but I do have to ask you something that we didn't talk to you about the last time, because we don't know if we're going to get another bite of the apple anytime soon. So I'll ask this. How much does it mean to you, and I know you see these memes like we do, for the person that you are, the family man that you are, your background, that African-American fans relate to you as much as they do, that they could see you standing with Dr. King, they could see you on the Pettus Bridge at Selma, standing with Malcolm X. When you first saw that, what was your reaction? And what does that say that fans across the country and around the world, especially African-American fans, relate to you and your family?
I'm always really careful because that's not a choice I can make. It's a choice that they've made, and it is. I'm touched about it, hearing about it now, solely because I don't know what I did. My dad's biggest fan base was African American, especially in the South, and I felt like I could see things that maybe he did where they could relate. For me, I don't know if I am relatable, but the choice to do that and to put their arm around me and let me in, gosh, I just want to make sure I do everything right to honor said choice. I don't take it lightly by any means. I'm not the one saying it. It's thank you, and I would never take something like that for granted, because that really is, in addition to being fun when you see all that stuff, it's incredibly touching, and I hope I can continue to do whatever I do to earn it in the first place.
Fiserv Forum, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tickets available right now. Ticketmaster.com, WWE.com. SmackDown's coming to Milwaukee on November 15th. Champ, as always, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on Good Karma Wrestling.
Thank you, guys. Hopefully speak to you guys again down the road. Thank you.